Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara, CPA, coming to you live once again with another amazing episode of How to Win at Business, the interview series. And I am live from downtown Flushing, New York. I almost forgot to say that. Uh, I have this beautiful lady standing next to me. I don't even really know where you're standing, but we are going to interview Audria. And what is your last name?
Simmons.
Oh, no, because I have you as a friend as something else, and you're in my database, and it totally confused me. You're one of these people with three names, aren't you?
No, I put Audria Bolin Simmons in my Facebook
Okay,
if
so
people
I
wanted to find me from before. But
okay, so that's important. So it's Audria Simmons,
yeah,
and I have you in my database as Audria Bolin.
that's my maiden name. My husband here is Jason Simmons.
Okay, I'm glad we got that straight, so people know how to get in touch with you. Uh, we connected not too long ago, right?
About 2 months maybe now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, you opened my eyes in a lot of ways. I was really impressed with how you explained the science behind what you do. And let's so not many people. Well, I don't know. In my circle here, they may not know you. I know in Haley's group they're starting to know you. But who are you, and what exactly do you do?
I'm Audria Simmons, and what I do with my husband is we create hemp into an oil. He's a lot in the lab, and he can peek his head in here anytime. And we together we make this hemp. We infuse it into the oil. Here he is.
Hey, hey, nice to meet you. Finally.
So we're a team. Do this all together, and what we do is when we're infusing that, we're handcrafting it, and we're getting every single component of the hemp plant that's beneficial into the oil. And as opposed to CBD, which is just one little compound out of that plant. And so,
Okay, hold on a second. So this is, what I do. A lot of people have misconceptions about accounting and I think that based on what I'm like, I don't think people know exactly what this is. You just hear CBD,
mhm.
and first what goes through my mind is it's okay. It's part of the marijuana plant, right?
I think that's what
So,
most people think.
and
Yeah.
and it's going to get you high.
No,
So
it's not going to get you high.
okay.
THC is what gets you high.
Okay.
And
So
so,
that being said, what I'd like to do is just take people like, what is your background, and how do you know so much about this?
uh, well, our family needed a lot of answers health wise. And a long time ago, my brother had some mental health issues, and we started just studying natural medicine to help him get better. We did a lot of natural things to help him get better. And when CBD came on the market, of course, I had to start studying it because was this an answer for my brother? And it does help him some. It's not like transformed his life, like he's off meds or anything like that. He still has to do his meds, but it has definitely taken the edge off. It's prolonged his time between visits to the hospital, etc. So there's definitely some benefits we see with that with him. And so I was studying it for that, and then um, and we had a long time where my husband was a firefighter and everything was good. And one day he came home, he couldn't breathe in a fire, and it created anxiety, thought of his heart, and it took us a few
Wow.
months to figure out even what it was. It ended up being asthma. So the doctor said you can't be a firefighter anymore. And that
Oh,
really
wow.
took its toll on him. And so I dug back into what we knew, and I was like, you know what? You're going to have some CBD in your life. And we're going to have to do some other things, to do some detoxing. It wasn't the whole answer. It's not always the whole answer. CBD is great, But I encourage you to get in there, and if you start on that natural oil, do other things to improve your whole situation. And I'd love to talk to people about those other options too, because I just have gained a wealth of information by having to be your own doctor. Because when these things happen, you lose your insurance, you have to, it's like, do it yourself or don't get it done. And so we've been in that spot a few times now. And
How
so
long
that
has it been? How long
it
from
was
when
5
you?
years ago when he came home, and I was
Wow.
asleep in bed. There's a duffel bag on the bed. Fear tries to like rush, like, why are you home? You should be at work, and he wasn't ready to talk about it. So I was like, God, what do I do? He said, you go back to sleep. I was like, okay.
So now, I just want to. We do have somebody in the chat. Oh, Tish
Okay.
Weber. So
Hey,
yeah,
Tish.
if you have any questions for Audrey, post them in the comments. I'm going to try to keep up with that. But so now, what were you doing at the time? Did you have a
I was
job?
homeschooling my kids, and I was selling LuLaRoe clothing on the side. It wasn't our income, but it was something. And
Okay, and what do you have? You have two children?
I have two children. Yep, I have
How
Zaylin and
old are they?
Sarana.
How
They
old are
are 14 and 10 now. So this was
they? Okay,
5
so they
years
were like
ago. So they were,
9 and 5. Okay.
yeah.
So
So it was, and I was
okay, so
homeschooled.
your
Yeah, it
husband comes
was
home. He's a fireman when he leaves, and now he comes home and
sick,
he's out of a career, right?
right? And he's also in bed sick. He can't breathe. He's having panic attacks.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, and so I just sell my clothes harder and harder. And I was researching what to do for him. And someone saw my research there and said, oh, we need someone to work in our new CBD store. And it looks like you know about it. She said, we don't know anyone that knows about it. So there was my job. And we were getting him well using the CBD and other modalities. But he was
So
starting to get better. And then he started working a little bit here, a little bit there. And then we were like, we don't even know if you can go get a job. So we got a little side job, and I was working the business. And then he started doing some construction work with a friend that could take him at his pace. And then his health continued to improve. And then one day I was like, I need help at home. And so he came home and he started doing all the lab stuff and learning it. And as we've grown in our understanding about health, he's grown in his health, and he now pretty much runs the lab by himself.
and at some point you said, "Hey, we can make money at this, right?"
We had to make money from day one.
Well,
Like,
you had
yeah.
to make money. You had to
I mean,
make money somehow, and
yeah.
sometimes and I was thinking about this. COVID, and I almost feel I shouldn't feel guilty saying this, but it changed my business. It wasn't easy, but and it was scary for a long time.
Well, scary.
But sometimes,
We
so here's what I'll tell you, what I know. The Depression created more millionaire entrepreneurs than ever before because they had no choice. They had to figure out how to make money.
But it's just a
Right?
constant grind. You know what I'm saying? Like here you are, like from my situation, like all of my education was in being a first responder. And when that's gone, you go to school, you train real hard, you put in like loads of, hard effort, man, and you get to that spot, then bam, something unseen comes and just takes it all away. You know what I'm saying? Like that does things to people at a deep level, and it's a rebuilding process because you can either stay down or you get up and you rise again.
That's like the Sylvester Stallone scene in
Yeah.
Rocky when he tells
Well,
his son.
that has actually been like in a weird way, like
It's
You
true.
said that.
they got married or from Rocky. And like little did I know and little did she know when we got married that like that has been like we've been gut punched, man. We've been knocked down. We've been up against the ropes, and you get knocked down, and then you get back up, and you just keep going. every
Yeah.
day.
And being an entrepreneur isn't easy to begin with. But you're dealing with health issues, financial issues, and now
Yeah,
you want to start a business.
all of
You're
it.
nuts.
Yeah. Not only,
That's sometimes
but
that's how you know you have to do it because there's no other
but it
option.
was like we was
It wasn't.
pushed in a corner, man. Like it's like this was the only option. This was the path. You know, no matter you know, you try to make it different. This was the path.
That was your path. There are other options. People can get depressed. They can feel sorry for themselves.
I mean,
They
that we
can,
had to deal with that. I mean,
Yeah.
to get through it, because I mean, we
yeah.
literally had
But
no income and $60 to start the
Yeah.
business.
yeah. So there's nowhere to go but up. There's nowhere
Nope,
to go but
there
up.
is nowhere to go
So
up.
let's go back to, so we got a couple of people, Lee Scheidel, Tim Gillette says, okay, have you heard that CBD is good for those that have seizures and epilepsy?
Absolutely. And
So,
I actually work with a doctor that has children in a special needs category, and we work with her children to find answers for those situations. So
okay.
it's exciting to me
So,
because I get wonderful results with that population.
yeah, I didn't get what's your husband's name?
Jason Simmons.
Jason. Okay, he's
Mm-hmm.
Simmons. You're a
Yes.
Bollins. Okay.
Yeah, and I just put that
So,
in Facebook so people could find me.
yeah.
My real name's Audria Simmons now, but
Okay. But that was great. That's a great story. But I want to get back to, you keep saying other modalities, right? You can't just, and that's what I learned.
CBD and get great results with it. But CBD is telling your body what to do with all the other stuff that you need. So if you need vitamin D and you're taking CBD, it's not going to magically give you vitamin D.
It's
so
not going to.
You need to go check yourself and make sure your vitamin D is hugely important, especially in the depression and cancer, all kinds of things. So like CBD is the new vitamin D discovery, but you have to have both. So if your body has vitamin D, but your cells don't know what to do with it because it's not getting the information, it's not saying, hey, go use this vitamin D and transport it to your brain or transport it to wherever it's needed to be used, then the vitamin D sits there and your cell sits there and then nothing happens with the vitamin D. So it doesn't get any use.
So, okay. So Lee says Whole Foods is a great support also. What is that?
Absolutely. Whole Foods are like when you are eating an orange instead of orange juice.
Okay.
Because you're eating something that's from as close to the ground as you can get it. And so that's one of the magics of our product is it's as close to eating it as you can get it.
Let me share why I think what you said resonated with me. About 5 years ago, and so, like, Tim knows me. When he met me, I think it was about maybe 9 or 10 years ago, and I weighed 190 pounds. I'm healthier now than I've ever been in my life, and it was because of this little Korean woman that taught me about health. And what she taught me was blood circulation. Okay.
Oh, I want to hear.
Eating healthy food, no more junk food, no more pizza and hamburgers. Okay, vegetables, no beef. And this was the biggest thing. Exercise, stretch. And these are all things that
baseball, right? So
these are things that so it made sense to me, so in the morning from the start, I start at the bottom of my feet all the way to the top of my head, because she also said it's gravity, right? Your blood has to be circulating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm like, this is just logical. So if you're getting all the vitamins and your blood isn't circulating, it's not going to your cells, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so then when you told me, hey,
extremities.
your cells need instructions too. They got to be told what to do. And that's what CBD does, right?
Yeah, CBD and other cannabinoids. So
Okay.
one of the great misnomers is that CBD is everything. You know, you just need CBD.
It's
But
just part of the equation. It's like,
it
to
is.
me, it's almost like the software. It's
It
like,
is.
okay, you got the vitamins, you got this, and now you got,
Uh-huh.
okay, where are we putting all this stuff?
So that, yeah, so like vitamins and all the whole foods and all this is like the components in the computer. But unless a software is telling it how to run, then it just sits there and does nothing. So like you might have your endocrine system might be, you know, this little digit in your computer, and you've got your neurotransmitters over here in that part of your computer, but they're just waiting for someone to tell them what to do. And so now we take CBD, now we take CBDA, and we take THC, and we take CBN, and we take the terpenes from the hemp plant. And that is the true software that's going to go in and start telling the cells, hey, cells, wait, you got your neurotransmitters, get them to communicate, make your endocrine system run. But if you just take CBD, that's only 1/3 of it. As we know at the moment, it's 1/3 or even less of the whole software program. So if you only run
So
1/3 of it, your computer might get a light on the background, but you don't see an image.
I got it. So my mom started taking it about a month ago. I didn't even know. And she said her legs start, you know, the swelling's going down, and I hooked you up with her to
Yes,
talk about it, right?
she should have her stuff now. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, I hope it's there by now. Yeah, she's out there a little ways, so it may not quite be there.
Yeah, the post office is a little messed up now. So you can get CBD in a lot of places, right? But what you're saying is it's like the sample version. It's
one
not as strong.
compound. It's exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
So
There's an actual structure to it if you looked under a microscope. So they're pulling out that exact one structure, extracting it down to a powder, and then they add that to an oil. And so you get out of over 120 cannabinoids, you're only getting one. And then you're not getting terpenes or the chlorophyll or the vitamins that's available in the plant.
Okay.
And so there's you got a question there?
Yeah, Lee Seidel, yeah, I think I said that. She says not all CBDs are created equal.
Nope. And so that's what I'm talking about a little bit. If you're just taking CBD and they truly make a CBD product, it won't matter which one you take. They're all CBD. So you can try 20 different brands. And if they've only extracted that one compound into a powder, you're taking CBD. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You can try a million pure. That's what pure stands for, is just that one compound. And it's not going to work for you. So you might jump to full spectrum, and you might get some more different compounds like CBN, THC. If it's full spectrum, it should have a little bit of THC. You might get a couple other little cannabinoids. But what you don't get is the acid forms. So then now you're working on two. So with a CBD oil, you're working like on 1/3 of the software. With a full spectrum, you might be working on 2/3 of the software. With a cold press, which is what we do, now you've got the whole software program.
Okay. So it's almost like drinking orange juice instead of eating the orange.
Right.
Right.
And then if you eat orange juice with pulp in it, that would kind of be like full spectrum.
Okay.
A little bit of the pulp. Then
I just had that. I just had that. Like an hour
I mean, it's
ago.
not the worst thing you can do. You can drink soda pop, or orange juice, and you're making better.
I'm a satisfied customer. You know,
I'm
I
thrilled.
freaked you out. I freaked you out because I told you that I took what did I say?
You told me you took 25 milliliters, which is nearly the whole bottle. Yeah. And I was not laughing because I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, I hope he's okay. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I think he's joking. And my husband's like, I think he's joking too.
You don't know me long enough. So yeah, exactly. So I take the 0.25 and it's almost like it's relaxing.
should be
And I'm
relaxed.
like, and I want to do it again and
Don't do it too
again.
soon. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you can do
So,
it as many times throughout the day as your dips go down. If your dip goes down, then
oh,
try to
really?
continue dip down. Yeah.
Oh,
I
interesting.
mean, if you're, I mean, you could take, because your body's processing it. And so at the point that it's kind of like, hey, we need some more, go ahead and give it some more.
Well,
It's okay if you want to.
I'm pretty active. You know, I get up, I walk, I
Mm-hmm.
exercise. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, you might
So,
metabolize it. Some people
okay,
metabolize it a little faster. I
okay.
think also, like, one thing I noticed with, I've had a few customers do this. Like, I had a lady with severe Crohn's disease, and she took 6 bottles the first year. And then by the second year, she was down to 4 bottles. And by the fourth year, she's for maintenance, she's on 2 bottles a year. So
Wow.
CBD receptors, the CB receptors, can actually be damaged. Or we create more in our body when we're in pain or injury or stress. And so once it realizes it gets what it needs, they kind of disappear, and your body can run on less transmitters.
Yeah, it's
B
almost like,
receptors.
you know, it's almost like your brain, like when you create new cats, new habits, right?
Mhm.
Is that, yeah, okay. I get it. So, you know, I talk about business. I don't talk about health. I don't know anything about this stuff. If you want to know about accounting and taxes and how to beat the IRS, and
We're gonna
that's what
learn
it,
that.
so I'm gonna tell you what my girlfriend told me, uh, which was true. She said, if you're not healthy, how can you run your
Yeah,
business?
you can. Yeah,
Okay. And I said, you know
yeah.
what? You're right. I'm
Very
just
agree.
trying to make money. I wasn't spending any time on my mental health, my physical health, uh, and it showed, you know. And
Mhm.
I have a world-class coach, Larry Broughton, and this guy, he's a former Green Beret.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
okay. And I said, I'm going
Yeah,
to hire
health
this guy.
coach.
And he's, no, a business coach. I
Oh,
hired
okay.
him to help me scale my business. And he runs $100 million company. And I said, he's going to kill me. He's going to like make me do all kinds of business stuff. You know
You
what we
did
did?
Joe
You know,
DeShiro stuff. You had you
do
work
you,
on you.
he's like, who are your friends? How do you treat your family? How is your health?
Yay.
Are you connected to God? Do you have any faith? And I
I
was
love
like,
it.
where's the business stuff?
It
So
flows
that
from you. If you're not okay, then your business ain't okay. I mean,
and people notice it. You know, Tim had a conversation with me. I just got another client that met me a long time ago, and you know what he said was, you just seem different, and it's because of getting healthy and
makes
people
a big
like
difference.
you and my that little Korean woman. And she taught me stuff that I was like, how come my American doctor never taught me this? What he told me was to eat a balanced meal and then prescribe me some medicine,
Yeah,
right?
that's what they know. They haven't been taught anything else.
Right. So, you know, I'm a happy customer. Is there anything you want to share with people? How do people get in touch with you? Uh,
They can go to BethesdaHemp.com, or they can go to Bethesda Hemp on Facebook, and you can message me, you can call me, you can check all of our stuff right there on our website. And
you put a
yeah,
link.
we're on Instagram.
You put a link in the chat here,
Chat.
right?
Uh-huh. I
Okay.
did. And
So
yeah, you can find us lots of ways. Me or my husband will definitely message you back or talk to
yeah.
you.
So
And
another thing I really appreciated was that I said, I want you to talk to my mother, and you just
absolutely.
talk to her. You know, that's like with me with taxes. I'm like, I'll talk to anyone about their business.
I'll talk to
Be-
anyone about their health. It's the most important thing. I
It
mean, it
is.
really is. I mean, we almost lost my husband's health, and it was scary. I mean, we couldn't function. We were like half a leg, just hobbling around, and we got there. And it's been a long journey but even this year, he's seen more improvement in his capacity for executive function, and we just keep going. We keep finding answers. So, and I will talk to people about that. If they've got other issues and they're like, well, what? I'll tell them other things. This is not the end all. It is a helper to everything else. I will help them discover some things that they can be doing with it to improve their situation. And because that's the goal. It's health.
Yeah. And you got to want it. And then because then that starts with mindset. Right? So it's not one thing.
The mindset, because it's the physical. Because if I had tried to start with mindset with my husband when he lost his job, we had to get his brain to stop racing. We had to get some things well before he could even take control of his thoughts. Wow. I mean, yeah. So I love mindset. It's a great thing. But for those people that are very challenged to even get where they can control their thoughts, I know that it's really hard sometimes for these coaches, because they're like, well, I've told her a million times she just needs to take control of her thoughts and she needs to push those thoughts out. There are some people that physically do not have the capacity to do it because their body is missing the information to do so. Sometimes they're missing the vitamins for the information to act upon. Sometimes they're infected with parasites or other things. So it's not always just mindset. I mean, and because
that's a good point. That's a good point. You're the first one that I've ever heard really say that, but it's true. It could be physiological, right?
It can be. And those people can feel a lot of shame. Well, why can't I just get my brain together? And then they go down spiraling more. And I really, it's really not their fault.
I get it.
They need someone to help them see how to address that.
I've suffered from depression, and you don't want to get up and do anything. No. And that's the worst. So what I learned, if I start feeling depressed, I start getting busy.
Yeah, and sometimes sometimes there is just a little bit of just strength and will. Like, I'm going to get out of bed no matter how I feel. We cannot live by our feelings, but we can't ignore them either. Right. And it's kind of a fine line sometimes, because is it my brain, or is something missing in my body? And sometimes you need an outside brain to help you see it, because your brain is struggling so hard just to think how to get out of bed in the morning. So
I think people just talking to you will help.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes someone just calls and they're just like, I'm just so glad you listened to me. And I'm like, and you didn't tell me that it's my fault that I can't get my thoughts together.
And you're not trying to sell them. You're really doing this for the right reason. So that's why I know you're going to be successful. All right. So any parting words of wisdom? How about if you...
Going.
It can be done. It can be done.
Keep going.
I have some good news and bad news.
Jason wants to say something.
Okay. Hey, Jason.
He's our deep thinker.
Yeah, I'm the more philosophical one. We get this one shot at life here. You know what I'm saying? And your world can change just like that. And it's okay. It's life. But no matter what you do, if you don't ever put a standard on yourself where you feel like you got to just take things a day at a time and at your pace, and then the healing will come, like the inner healing and, CBD aside. But, as long as you get knocked down, you get back up again. If you got to crawl, but just keep inching forward and don't put unnecessary standards on yourself. That's my wisdom.
Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. That's our story, folks, and we're sticking with it. Joe DiChiara, God bless, and I will be back again tomorrow with some more
amazing
amazing
for
content.
all your wisdom,
okay.
too.
Good night. Good night, Audrey.
night.